Thank you for joining from Timor. Thank you from joining from Nigeria, Ethiopia. I can see that Zimbabwe. Thank you. Thank you. Ram from India. Okay. Thank you from Botswana. Philippines. There you go. Thank you. Okay. So all of you, thank you. Thank you for joining from Fiji, from Kenya. Great. From Sri Lanka, Nairobi. Thank you. Okay, that's great today. As you join, we will be here today with you shortly with the webinar. But before that, let's begin with the icebreaker. So the icebreaker for today, are you listening to me, guys? Icebreaker for today is, if you could solve any problem in the world with a new innovation, which problem would you choose? Okay, I repeat again. If you could solve any problem in the world with a new innovation, which problem would you choose? There you go. Type it in the chat box. Type in the chat box. Okay, great. Poverty, very nice. Good. Get hunger, good. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. Renewable energy, world hunger. Oh, wow, that's another answer. Youth, women, economic unemployment, environmental problem, global warming. Wow. Agriculture, technology, money, job opportunities, poverty. Good, great, thanks. Great going, guys. World peace, human trafficking. Wow. Homelessness, hunger, and poverty. Okay. Now, let's go with the second question. Icebreaker time, guys. You keep on joining. Let's answer the second icebreaker. Imagine you are a part of the Shark Tank panel. Which business idea presented to you would be the most exciting to invest? That's on your screen. You can see it on the screen, the question. Type it in the chat box. Education. Great. Thank you for that answering. E-commerce, technology, insurance, make in India, okay. Sustainable development, environmental sustainability, technology, healthcare, wow, that's very good. Societal development is it. Agriculture, sustainable development, great. Real estate. Okay, I'm again welcoming everyone. And now it's time to go for the webinar. And thank you for joining us today from the different parts of the globe. We are excited to have you here. This will be an opportunity for us to learn from each other and grow today. I am Sanjita from UniAthena, and I'm your moderator for today. So let us take a bit of your time. Let me introduce to the topic that we are for today. And also we will be introducing the panelists who is with us today. So, today's topic, igniting innovations, the ultimate guide to entrepreneurship, isn't it? We need ignitions. Okay, entrepreneurship is a dynamic and evolving field, and each of you here today, you are learning about entrepreneur's journey. And you all know that entrepreneur's journey is unique. So today's topic, igniting innovation, the ultimate guide to entrepreneurship, would aim to provide comprehensive guidance while acknowledging that adaptation, feasibility, flexibility, and continuous learning are essential for the success in this entrepreneurial landscape. So today you'll be aware of exploring the characteristics of successful entrepreneurs, understanding the entrepreneurial mindset and its significance, exposure to create and innovative business ideas, and engage in customers. So you'll also be understanding how to embrace social responsibility and give back to the community. We have today Mr. Faras, who is with us, and he is one of the most expert here, and he has joined us. He has a vast subject expertise in every subjects of management today. He is our senior faculty, and he is with you today. So, sir, Mr. Fawaz Farooq is here with us. Over to you, sir, for the topic and the presentation.
All right. Thank you, Sanjita, for that. And I'm even more excited to see such a large audience from around the globe with so much of thirst to learn, and it's even more, making me more exciting because of another reason, because UniAthena, right, is hosting such a wonderful event, and me being part of it. And then it's a great opportunity for me to learn from you guys as well. Thank you so much for that intro. Well, yeah, so let's talk about entrepreneurship and innovation. And as Sanjita rightly said, it's been ever evolving, I would put it, So entrepreneurship has been there for centuries and centuries, because people are producing and, feeding each other with entrepreneurship. So here today, we're going to look at a few areas, because we have a very short time of roughly about 2 hours, right, to share some insights. Let me share some insights from my knowledge and experience over the past 30 years or so, right? And whatever that I have gathered so far is very tiny when it comes to, the ocean of knowledge. So let me try and, share whatever possible within this short time frame. All right, let's go into the slides. The first quote comes from Peter Drucker. I'm sure most of you know Peter Drucker. He's been considered as a management guru, right, in the subject of entrepreneurship and management. So he says, entrepreneurs innovate. Innovation is the specific instrument for entrepreneurship. Now, what does this mean? It has a lot of, deep insights into it. Of course, as entrepreneurs, right, whoever who takes risks and who wants to do something new for the society is the one who's becoming as an entrepreneur, isn't it? So he is innovating something. We will go through it, what do we mean by innovation, and then, what are we trying to do as an entrepreneur? What are you supposed to do as an entrepreneur? I'm sure there's loads and loads of people who are aspiring to become entrepreneurs, and some of you have already have some entrepreneurial efforts. Some of you are from the corporate environment and you have intentions, and then sometimes you are partly running something on the sideline as well to generate some income. So let's see, how you can make use of this session to expand and grow further. All right. So what do we mean by innovation is the specific instrument for entrepreneurship? Why does he say that? You see, if you are trying to create wealth, I mean, that the next sentence supports that actually. If you are trying to create something new to the society, which is in need of something, you have to be innovative. That is why, right, entrepreneurs need to be very innovative. So if you are simply copying something from somebody and then trying to do a business, well, in the short run, you might or you may succeed, but not in the long run. Competition is there, so you can't just copy and survive, or, customers will get to know about you. So you can't, succeed in your entrepreneurial efforts. So therefore, there are so many methods or so many stages where you bring in your innovation. Maybe at the initial product, the product itself is a new innovation, or the way that you are going to position it, right? Or you're going to the way you're going to deliver it, or the way you are communicating it, or the location that you are going to distribute. Those kind of products are not there. So there has to be some amount of new thing. That is what it means. The new thing has to come in for you to be successful. I'm sure you have seen so many companies been continuously, consistently introducing new things, even for their existing products, right? So that is how they keep on innovating and then being successful. All right. So on that note, or with that note, let's move on to the next slide. Sanjita, am I able to move the slides, or am I a host? Should I make me a host? Should you make me a host? All right. Okay, here we go. Right. So, the slides are more far ahead. All right. So what we are trying to do here is basically, we will look at, okay, this is what I was looking for. We will look at the importance of entrepreneurship very briefly, and then we'll look at a few examples which will be very useful to you. And then these 3, 4 elements are very, very critical to you. What are the key characteristics and entrepreneurial skills? Key characteristics of an entrepreneur and entrepreneurial skills and entrepreneurial thinking. These 3 elements will be very, very useful. So please carefully, draw your attention to these things. So that is how you can develop or further develop as an entrepreneur, or maintain or improve your skills, or the way you think and all. The final part is how you position yourself, or how you put the resources together, and then how do you operate as an entrepreneur, whether you are a startup, or whether you are in a growing company, or whether you are a struggling company, or companies even at a certain level of growth. There are a lot of SME companies which has attained some level of growth, but thereafter they might struggle. So therefore, these kind of techniques and tools will be useful as well. Don't worry, I will not take too much of time. I will give you the snippets of it wherever it is required, and I will take a little bit of time to explain wherever it is required as I consider. All right, so let's move on to the next one. The slides are not moving to me. Right, so I hope this is the next slide. See, the slides are jumping. All right. So why do you think, it is so important to learn entrepreneurship is the first question. You see, I'm sure that all of you are here. So many of you are here for some reasons. You have some reasons. Unfortunately, you have such a large number, so I may not be able to talk to all of you and then gain your intentions, why you are here, then why do you think, it is important to learn. So let me take you through. See, to answer that question, the second question comes, how do you make your living? Or how do you intend to make your living? Or how do you intend to continue making your living? Right? Many people are very comfortable by doing a job, or rather, they're working for another employer. They're very comfortable. Why? Because that gives the standard income, and they have their own standard set of commitments. And then, it's easy for them to move on in their life, isn't it? There's no extra risk, or there's no extra pressure to their work life. So they can balance their work life, right? And then, enjoy with the family. So that is how they look at it. So it's easy for them. And then there's another set of people, they're not happy there. They want to run something on their own. That means they need to be self-employed, right? So they have to be their own bosses. That is how they see it. They want to have their freedom. They want to have their, vacation trips, and then they want to have the money that they want. So there are a lot of benefits being self-employed. Of course, there is a lot of pressure as well, right? So, but some people like it, and some people are a little bit, conscious about the risk factor, right? Or they're a bit conservative on that area. So being self-employed is the next option. And then there is another set of crowd. They are not happy either in that position. They want to have a bigger company. They want to have freedom to move around, meaning they want to make people to work for them. That means a larger organization, isn't it? So that's the third option. So people are not happy by being a self-employed person, but some people, they want to grow gradually. It becomes a gradual growth, or some people have it in their mindset that, they must own a couple of companies and then have a set of people. They need to have their own managers and CEOs, whatnot, their own secretaries. So that sort of a lifestyle people like. So these are 3 different options that we know commonly. But on the next slide, or on the side of this particular slide, there is this cash flow quadrant. I'm sure you have noticed it already, right? Some of you might have read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki. This became a very popular book, right, in the recent history. And he brings in the 4th element. Now, if you see these 4 quadrants, the E first starts as the employee. That's where you work for yourself, or rather, the time is working. You are working for the time. So you are dependent on time and your effort to make money, to make your living. And the second one is You are self-employed. You go down, the next one. S is you're self-employed. That again, your own time and expertise. You can be a consultant, you can be a trainer, or you can be a freelance professor, right? So I do all those three things. So I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own company, right? I have my corporate training company. And then, of course, I do freelance lecture as well, right? So that is how I position myself as an entrepreneur for the past 7 years or so. But prior to that, for the past 23 years, I come up from a very rich corporate background into diversified industries, from entering into the corporate sector as a trainee and then ending up as a deputy CEO of a company, of a large company. So that is how I drew my corporate career. So I have a good balance of, corporate, academic, and entrepreneurship as a consultant. So that is where I am. I'm happy there. Of course, when time to come, I will have more companies. So that's the B part. But the most interesting part is, okay, while being a self-employed, also you can practice. While being a business owner, also you can practice. But that is another source of earning income. Even that is also being part of an entrepreneurship. What does that mean? That means that you are making money to make money for you. That means your money is making money for you. You make investments into various types of assets, and then those assets making money for you. So these are 3 different or 4 different options you have. Except for the first one, all the remaining 3 are really entrepreneurial mindsets. Of course, as an entrepreneur, as an employee, also you can practice entrepreneurship to some extent by understanding the mindset of your employer, right? And supporting he or she to achieve their goals so that you can grow faster and better. So that is how even employees can benefit. Professionals also can benefit out of this session. All right. So I took a little bit of time to explain because that is what is setting our foundation. Right. Next slide, please. Right. So see, when I try a couple. So we see benefits of entrepreneurship. I'm sure that all of you have intentions of starting up companies. So you need to start with the question, okay, when am I going to start my business? If it is not now, when? So what kind of business, right? So what can you do to ensure success? So these kind of basic fundamental questions you need to ask yourself and then start jotting it down. Even while we do this discussion, please jot it down so that it will help you to, polish it up down the line. All right. So some of the key benefits, right, of the entrepreneurship is basically, of course, you have your own destiny. You have your own, time managements. You have, a lot of self-confidence in yourself. So you will be, making a difference in the society, in your family and all. So all these kind of things will be a solid benefit the moment you become an entrepreneur. You will be a shining star in the society and then among your friends with your financial capability, with your own, leadership capabilities. People will look upon you as a successor or other success story. And then, they will take you as a role model. All those benefits will come. All right. So let's dive into some of the leading entrepreneurs or leading businesses that are very common, right? I'm sure you know most of these or all of them, right? It's not right. So Alibaba company, Amazon company, Facebook. So all these are very big companies. Now, why I'm saying, you must be wondering, okay, these are large companies. So what have we got to do with these things? No, everybody has a humble beginning or the humble start. All large companies or even mountain to climb, you need to take the first step, isn't it? So you need to study how big the mountain is. That's okay. You can look at, okay, that's a big mountain, fair enough. But then you see, okay, where to start? Where is the first step? What is the route? You need to start. Or, say you ask from some people who climbed the mountain, okay, how was the trip? How was the journey? right? What are the challenges you faced? So you ask all those questions. So you need to know, right, how people became successful and how people achieved such, large emperors or, successful companies. See, looking at a few companies, Alibaba, right? I'm sure that there are loads and loads of YouTube clips to watch his personal story and then, success story about, establishing Alibaba.com. See, he comes from China and he landed in USA a long time back, and then he went, company to company. He had all the product concept with some 14 or 18 people with him. He went around, asking for investments, support and IT support, and then explaining the concept. Nobody accepted it. So finally, it became accepted, and then where he is today. Rest became history. So things start from a very small position. Product concept. You need to have your concept somewhere. You need to believe in such concepts and ideas, and then go and hit the bank. Maybe it's rejected. No matter. You are confident of it. Go back again. Right. So likewise, there are so many stories. No, that one is not mentioned here. In another discussion I took, Airbnb. No, it was just an incidental business startup. Two friends, came together, and then they wanted to sleep somewhere overnight, and they couldn't find something, and then they started brainstorming. Right, like that. Starbucks, if you take, that is also four friends, college dropouts. So you must be wondering, okay, there are a lot of companies from US or China or some big countries. They are starting business. They are either Harvard dropouts or some Stanford studied or big companies. You take some small examples as well. My classic example in this part, especially in the Middle East, right, and connecting to the South Asian part. You take Lulu supermarket chain, hypermarket chain. He came from very grassroots level from deep South India, Indian state called Kerala, and then came to Abu Dhabi just to support his uncle's grocery shop. And he had a small, grocery shop, like a supermarket type of a shop. And then that became a hypermarket, one hypermarket, and then chain of hypermarkets, and then a group of companies. And today he is a multi-billionaire, dollar billionaire. So take small examples or big examples, doesn't matter. It starts from scratch somewhere. All we need is the confidence and the intention. First, you need to have the right intention that I need this. I'm going to achieve this. And then, you set the path. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, innovations or rather entrepreneurs can come with different stages. You can come with different products, or you can come with different production methodologies, or you go into a new market, or you become a different source of supply, unique supply, or different method of supply, right? Or you bring in something new phenomenon to the entire industry. So this is a topic that I can talk for 2-3 days. Actually, I have done training on entrepreneurship on, say for about 24 hours, in the sense 24 training hours. So it goes into 3-4 days. So it is such a vast area. So I'm trying to bring it as fast as possible to you. All right.
Okay. Okay, sir. So we are here with the first poll, and it was absolutely participating the poll, and it was a very good questions which aligned with your presentation. The question was, how would you like to start your venture? And we had 52% saying by making small investment. We had 5% saying with investment from the government. And there was 22% who said by using your own ideas. And 21% said through a collaborative partnership. So we have the greatest majority participants saying by making small investment. Exactly. We must begin with a small idea, as sir has pointed out. Believe in the concept and the ideas, and you start the wonderful journey of being an entrepreneur. So this was the end of our first poll. We'll come with the second poll again. Be ready with us, participant, and the floor is to the sir today. So sir, can you please continue?
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. So what is entrepreneurship? Now we are going in, trying to understand what is entrepreneurship and then what are the key skills and the characteristics of an entrepreneur. All right. So as majority of you have pointed out, it's the basic idea that you come up with, right? And then the right intention that, okay, out of the four quadrants where you want to be, right? Where you want to position yourself. And then aim, that is what we call it, dream big or think big. So you dream big first, and then, things will fall in line with this kind of a session that we are talking today. All right. So what is entrepreneurship? Okay, I don't want to make it a theoretical session here. In a very simple terms, right? It's simply a process of designing and running a new business venture. A very simple thing. So if you are planning or if you are designing to come up with a new business venture, you are an entrepreneur already, right? Of course, you need to bring in some sort of innovation, as we initially discussed from the quote from Peter Drucker, right? So you need to bring in some. What do we mean by innovation? You just need to bring some new thing, as I said, some new element into it. We are not talking about that you are trying to, invent, internet into this world, or invent light something, or you have to bring a innovate, or come up with a spacecraft to the moon. No, we are not talking about big things. Just make tiny changes. Tiny changes. Let me give a very simple example. See, you know how these stickies, I'm sure all of you use stickies in your companies, right? The yellow stickies. How that was innovated. The company, it was a paper manufacturing company, and they were manufacturing gum also. When they were trying to manufacture a gum for a new company, new order, that gum did not come right. It was not sticking properly. It had some failure. It has some failure in the formula. And then suddenly somebody thought differently and then said, hey, this will be useful for this kind of a purpose. And then they thought, okay, they came up with the idea of using the gum to use a sticky note where if somebody wants to remove it, they identified a need. They identified a new need for the existing product. Or the other way around is also possible. You identify a need, or rather you identify a new product for an existing need. Or you come up with you foresee a new trend, a new need in the future, and then innovate something now. These are possible innovations. I said, okay, you had a product, you did not know what to do with this, and then you spotted a need, and then you connected it, which is innovation. That is what that company did. Or you look for a current existing problem and then see, is there a unique way of resolving that problem? See, people were stuck in their houses with COVID, and then, okay, they wanted to deliver. The supermarket guy started delivering it to their houses, and the internet companies, they started, of course, the e-commerce platform was there already for some other purpose, and it was connected by the supermarket company. And then that became a big success for these small companies also. Now, even all the supermarkets and even the food delivery companies use online deliveries. And the app development company make use of this situation, and they start introducing new apps for these things. And then the delivery companies, collaborating with them, and then start. See how the innovation spreads. All you need to do is the intention right. Right? So that is how entrepreneurships start. Again, Sanjita, I think I'm having a little struggle with these slide moments. You need to help me with that. Right. So they
You
basically
can scroll a little bit slowly. You can scroll little bit slowly, maybe because of the internet.
Okay, right. Sorry.
It gets hanged up. Okay.
Okay, thanks. So they need to take a little bit of risk. Of course, all people who move from a permanent income or rather regular income base to um, a risk-taking business or entrepreneur, of course, there is a risk. Now, that risk is the financial risk we are talking about, the income risk. But there are a few other risk factors also attached to it. That is not the only risk. The product risk, the product failure. You have to, what you call, employ people. You need to agree to certain terms and conditions with other people. So there's a lot of other risk factors involved. That is why we call entrepreneurs are risk takers, right? So these two elements, the risk taking, the innovation, the creativity, these kind of elements only will make an entrepreneur successful, right? So small business or large business is not the problem. It's all about the intention, and then you are putting these elements together, right? Now let's go into see, what sort of ideas you can generate, and then where to look for ideas. Now the best place to look for ideas is look at problems. Every crisis has a solution. I mean, we saw whether it was COVID or whether it was, a financial crisis, or whether it is economic downturn, or whether it is family problems, or whether it is company problems. And then I just showed the example of how the paper manufacturing company entered into a problem and then they came up with a solution. So likewise, every problem, if you see, you will find some pain points and you will see some options to resolve it in a different manner. Let me give you an example. See, you go into a hospital, just, sit in front of the reception desk, right? I mean, when the customer is moving around, just look around. How many people go with a lot of complaints? For that matter, even go to some hotels. Of course, many of them will go with happy mindset, but there will be people who will go with sad mindset, with some complaints. You go to any institution, there will be some people who are not happy there. What does that mean? It means there is another way of solving a problem. You understand? So look at problems, brainstorm how it was resolved, why they were not happy, talk to them, and then you will find. That's one way. Or rather, look at trends, the current trends or the emerging trends. Even sometimes in the analyzing the past trends, you will see some gaps that those are not addressed yet, right? So these kind of efforts will make you to identify gaps. This is what we call, identifying the need gap. Identifying the need gap. Every product, if they can identify a need gap from the society, whether it is a health product or IT product, right? So let me take an example of an IT product. You see, so many people, so many banks are still struggling to have the best security system to protect the customer information. To protect the customer information. So what is the best way to resolve that? Of course, there's so many cloud security systems and all. Still, that is why it's evolving. New products are coming. New threats are emerging. And new products are coming. It is kind of a cycle. I mean, this cycle is not only for IT industry, it is for every product. You take a bottled industry, there will be some problems. There will be some shortage of raw materials, or there will be some change of raw materials. So new needs will be emerging ever. So therefore, it's always good to observe problems, trends, research reports, talking to customers, and then you will identify your new ideas. Or look for inspiration, how other industries are doing, how some of your friends are handling issues, right? Or how are they coming up with new products. Go to the market, go to the internet, sit back and do your research. You will have loads and loads of new product ideas, new service ideas, right? You don't have to get frustrated with any industry. See, industry is open now. Products are open. Methods are open. Therefore, innovation is open, right? So another simple example to give you some sort of confidence is, see, research is never-ending topic. PhDs are never-ending, business. PhDs are never-ending study methods. Why? Because new research is important. So therefore, new areas of problems are there. New areas of research is there. That means problems are ever emerging, re-emerging. Therefore, new solutions also there. All right. So look at those things. So just to give you a nutshell of, how do you transform your idea to the entry point, right? So this has several stages. This has several stages. Of course, it's not overnight. It's not just 1 or 2 weeks. Sometimes it might take months. Sometimes it might take years also in this whole process, right? But I'm simply giving you an idea. It's not rocket science. Millions, if not billions of people have done this. So therefore, definitely you and I can do it. All right. So simply you get an idea whether it is doable. So you need to apply certain techniques, right, to make sure whether this idea is doable, applicable, right, workable. So there are some techniques. We will study a few today, right? And then what you do is, from the idea, you make it a concept, right? What do I mean by concept? You need to bring in all the connecting elements into it and then see, okay, how it is going to work in a holistic manner, not a simple isolated idea. What are the connected things that you need? You need this supply, you need this infrastructure, you need these experts into it, you need this place to position it, and you need some delivery mechanisms. That is a complete concept, right? If possible, there are certain concepts, it's very difficult to test it, but most of them are possible to test it. Even if it is at a very high level, conceptual level, if it is not testable, then bounce it to some people and ask, okay, do you think it's workable? Get the opinions of other people, right? And then you come with the market strategy or business analysis. There again, we will talk about a few areas of that in time permits, right? Okay, how do I position this sales? What sort of strategy I need? Whether it is financially viable, whether it is marketable, right? Whether it is operationally viable, and then know how much investment required, what could be the expected return on investment, those kind of analysis that you need to do. If you are going at a larger scale, little larger scale, and then you go into product development, market testing, and then go for the market entry. Those are little bit technical stuff. Of course, people knows what I'm talking about, will know, and then that is how it goes. All right. Are we good, Sanjita? Can move on?
Yes, sir.
Right.
We can move on.
Thank you.
So after 3-4 slides, then we'll have the polling.
All right, cool. Right. So what are some of the key characteristics of an entrepreneur? Now, some of you must be having some self-doubts. You must be thinking, okay, I have been working in the corporate sector, or I have been working in the government department for 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. Is it possible that I make a business now? Does it make sense? Is it possible? Well, it is possible. Somebody might think, okay, I'm just a starter, right? I have to learn the business and then, move into to a business on my own. Well, to some extent, that makes sense, but not necessarily it is 200%, right? So everybody at whatever the stage, it is possible. I mean, I have the extreme examples. You take Warren Buffett, one of the most successful businessmen in the world. He started at the age of 11, started selling papers, and then collected money from. I mean, he reserved some money for selling newspapers, and then started investing, and then so he became an entrepreneur at the age of 11, 12, right? Even Ratan Tata, right? So he came to the UAE for his employment, and then worked a couple of. He was not satisfied. He went back to India and then started something. So his early mid age or something. But on the other extreme side, you take KFC owner. He started at the age of 65. at the age of 65. So there are, of course, I'm talking about the successes. Of course, they became successful after going through some struggles. That's okay. But at the same time, there are a lot of failures also. That it doesn't mean it's a rosy picture. All the entrepreneurs make big money. No, it has its failures, but then people have bounced back, right? So for that, you need to have certain characteristics in you. If you don't have, you think you better develop it. That's the plan. That's the idea. So you need to be ambitious. That means, you have to have that growth mindset of, okay, I want to achieve something. And then you need to have certain level of independence to take decisions on your own. You need to be confident about yourself. Okay, what I'm doing is right. Don't have self-doubts all the way. Clear it off. And then you need to have that attitude of taking risks. Then be passionate about what you are doing. So these are some of the very key elements. I cannot go into all the examples and then take too much time here. If it is 2-day or 1 full day training, I would have loved to do such kind of thing. So, and then be committed. Okay, there are different types of entrepreneurs. Let me say that here. Now, see, there are world-changing entrepreneurs, right? There is something that small scale entrepreneurs, different types. There is inventors, new type of inventors. So likewise, there is another word called entrepreneurs. Entrepreneur starts with WA. What does that mean? They always want to do entrepreneur. They want to become a businessman. They want to own their own business, but they never committed themselves, right? So don't be like that. So be committed to do such thing. All right. So that is what it means by commission, being committed. Of course, when you plan something, you execute it. Make sure you execute it. Okay, you lagged behind today, try to catch up tomorrow. Not okay, every day postponing. That's we call procrastination. So be committed. That's very important. And then being visionary, you know what it is. Think long term. Creative. Being in innovation, of course, you need to think different all the times and be energetic. You need to have energetic both physically, mentally, and spiritually, and psychologically. So there are 4 ways that you can become energetic. You need to be mentally fit. You need to have your knowledge, right? That's why you become mentally fit. And then in terms of physique also, you need to be fit. And then you need to be spiritually also be fit. And the 4th one is emotional. Don't get carried away. Don't get thrown apart just because somebody is criticizing you or you become a failure. Say, emotion is very powerful. Emotion build energy with more emotions. Then you become more powerful. Bring the passion element to it. That's what I'm saying. Right. So by having or developing these kind of characteristics in you, then you are well positioned to become an entrepreneur. And that is not enough. You need to develop certain key skills also. Now, being creative is your characteristics, true. But then creativity can be built as a skill also, right? Creativity and critical thinking are basically considered to be 2 extremes, 2 sides. It's like it basically is the right brain and the left brain. Your left brain is your critical thinking or analytical thinking, whereas your right brain is your creative thinking. People thought in the past decades or in the centuries that people will have either one of the 2. Either you are creative or you are critical analyst. You can do maths or you can do arts. Both is not possible. That is what people thought earlier. But in today's context, that's not the case. It's proven wrong. Therefore, both you and me can do both. All right. So in between, you need to have your strategic thinking. What do I mean by strategic thinking? As an entrepreneur, you need to have a holistic thinking. You may be a marketing expert. You may be a finance expert. You may be a HR expert. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to have a very good understanding. I'm not saying very thorough. I said very good, carefully chosen word. You can't become thorough with everything. That's not possible sometimes. But you can become good in everything, right? So you will be thorough with at least one subject or two subjects, but at least try to be good in everything, and then you get that holistic picture. When a marketing guy comes and talks to you, you should be able to understand. You may not know all the technicalities of it, but you should be able to understand the marketing. When somebody is saying from a strategic point of view, then you should know what is he talking about. Strategic means a holistic view. Strategy has two elements. One is the holistic view, the other one is the long-term view. So you need to have that strategic thinking skills, right? And then when it comes to decision making, okay, I have a special slide on that. I will touch on that in a more detailed manner. What is decision making? But for now, decision making and communication are very critical skill of an entrepreneur, because you might need to take spot decisions. You might need to take long-term decisions. So you need to have the right mechanism and the thinking capacity, how to make such decisions, and then how to communicate such decisions as well. Because you see, communication is such an important tool. You know why? Everybody can choose what to tell and what not to tell. But very, very matured people will know how to tell and how not to tell. So success of communication comes from how to tell rather than what to tell. You understand? So you need to become master of that skill for you to become. Because people need to listen to you. You need to convince people. You need to collaborate with people. So therefore, communication skill is very, very vital. All right. So some more skills, yes, finance management skills that I have a couple of slides on that towards the end, right? So let's talk about it. And then adaptability and resilience, yes. Down the line, you need to adapt to certain things. You need to be ready to change. You need to accept change. That is adaptability. And of course, some things you need to be confident of what you are doing, and you need to stand with what you are doing also. That is resilience. Or the moment you fall down from somewhere, you should be able to rise back. That is resilience, right? So those kind of qualities are very key. And as you know, okay, networking and collaborative, I don't need to explain much. And then digital literacy, you know better than me in today's context. And pitching and negotiation is another key important skill, because you should be able to pitch. That means position your product, position your service not only to a customer, but also to a partner, to your supplier, to an investor, many different places. Sometimes, to an employee, you need to position, you need to negotiate, right? So those are very critical skills for an entrepreneur. All right. So yes, I have skipped couple, but thinking that no, you know all of them, or at least some of them. So I'm just picking the salient part. All right, Sanjita, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for that wonderful idea. Entrepreneur, that's the new word which I also heard today. So participants, here we have the polls. Second, and your eyes on the screen. I'm launching the poll. And here you go. Do you see it? Yes, please hit the button for poll number 2. Great. Wow. The question is, what's your preferred method for generating new business ideas? The question is, what is your preferred method for generating new ideas, new business ideas? Wow, that's wonderful. We are open. 1 minute to go. Countdown begins. Hit the button. Wow, that's great. 354, 370 participants answering 425. Wow, 500, it's reaching 500. The poll participants reaching 500. Come on, guys. You are all 1,000 out here. So we have only half of the people who are here hitting the button. 500, 600, 600. Yes, more. Okay. 700. All right. Come on, hit the button. Come on. What's your preferred method for generating new business ideas? Great. All right. Now I close it. Okay. So we have here 49% saying market research. And we have 22% saying brainstorming sessions. Okay. 15% who the method they choose is problem solving workshops. That's wonderful to you, sir. So you can hit onto this answer, and the 14% says collaborative discussions. So that's what the answer is. Thank you, participant, for participating in this poll number 2. We'll be with you for the last poll, but here we are with Sir today. So over to you, sir, for continuing the presentation. Thank you, participants. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, that's a good spread of answers, I would say, rather than sticking to one solution, right? So it's a good diverse options, because different people will have different options, true, but different circumstances also will need different tools, right? So therefore, we need to have a good idea about all such methods, and then it's a good diverse answers, I would say. Thank you. Very good one.
Thank you.
Right. So here we go. Creativity and innovation. Yes, we spoke about it. And then, as I said, you look into new ideas from different options. And think we saw a very good spread of answers there. And then here, what we are trying to communicate here is, you see, all what we need to look at is the opportunity at hand. That means the problem scenario or the need gap, and then how we are trying to serve that, or how we are going to resolve that. The need gap is there in the society, or sometimes you might even create a need gap. You might even create a need gap in certain situations. I mean, in this modern world, politicians create need gaps. Likewise, companies also create need gaps, right? Companies also create need gaps. They start infusing certain products and then asking, okay, whether you like this or like this. So they give more options on the field. So customers are felt different, right? So the new opportunities are created. So likewise, entrepreneurs used to say, I have heard some entrepreneurs saying, we don't wait for opportunities, but we create opportunities, right? So for that sort of an opportunity, how do you bridge the gap? So that is where your innovation is coming. And then you have an idea and how you are executing it. How executionable is that? That is the second part of innovation. You have conceptualized the problem and then come up with the idea that this is possible. How you can operationalize it, those two words, conceptualize and operationalize. So that is where the second element. So for that, you need to bring in all your research or brainstorming, everything into it to make sure that it is operationalizable. Otherwise, it will be very hypothetical, right? Very hypothetical. All right. So yes, we are going through some of these areas, so which I spoke about a few things already, so I'm not going to go through it. So I will talk about this, for example, very important slide. Just draw your attention here. See, let me also ask this question. You don't have to answer. Maybe you can put a answer in your chat box while I talk. See, in lifetime, what is the one thing that we do most in our lifetime? If you take the entire lifetime from the birth to end, what is the one thing we do most in our lifetime? Right? I'm sure there'll be loads and loads of answers coming. Somebody will say sleeping, somebody will say eating, somebody will say talking, somebody will say thinking. All of that is wrong answer, but it is breathing, isn't it? It is breathing. I don't know how many of you wrote breathing. And then next to that, to me, is decision making. Is decision making. You know why I say that? Decision making is such a powerful tool. Every choice of word in my speech is my decision. Some of that might come in a flow with my practice. Movement of my eye, movement of my hand, whether to smile or not to smile, whether to pause or just go on. whether to talk or ask questions. All that is my decisions. So therefore, we make enormous amount of decisions throughout our lifetime. So we should be mastering in our decision making skills. And it's even more important when it comes to entrepreneurship. Now, why I said the previous thing is it's helpful on a day-to-day life also, right? So therefore, take this very important point. When we take decisions, let me take the two extreme sides. One is the rational decision making. The other one is, oh, I think it's been by mistake, it's been copied in the redesigning part. Sorry, I also did notice. Okay, one is emotional, the other one is rational, right? If you say that the two extreme diagonals, one is, here it is rational, here it has to be emotional. So what do I mean by rational is logical thinking. You make logics, you argue what is right and what is wrong. What are the laws and regulations of the country? What are the systems and procedures of a company? So based on that, you take decisions, whether it is right or wrong. You debate, you argue. And that is logical decision making or rational decision making. On the other side, emotional decision making is whether I like it or not, whether it is good or bad. Sometimes based on value, okay, does it make sense in terms of, okay, he is my son or he is my father? With that relationship, where does it fit in? So emotional based, loving based. Let me give an example. Okay, your children, I'm sure all of you are professionals here. Your children want to buy something, a toy. You will first think, okay, do I have money? You will check your wallet. Do I have money? Do I need this money for this, or can I spare this for the store toy? So like that, you will debate it, or you will ask your spouse whether, do we need extra, anything else? Can we buy this? You will discuss. You will ask your child also, do we need it now, or can we buy tomorrow? If you have some commitments, that is, you are rational. But then on the on the emotional thinking, you look at, okay, she needs it. I love her. She will enjoy it. I like to see her playing, and she will learn to walk with it, or she will learn to do these kind of things. I like to see that emotions. So these are two extreme sides. So being an entrepreneur, you should know how to balance with these two things, and that is not enough. Entrepreneurs sometimes get carried away with their gut feelings. Some might argue this is also part of rationale. No, irrespective of a professional. Say in a company, the finance manager will come and say, this analysis I did, this is not right, this investment is not good, this is not, ROI is not enough, we put this money somewhere else, that we will do that. But still the boss will go ahead with this because he has a gut feeling that I can make this right. He has no evidence. His financial manager is against him. His family is against him. They're worried about his reputation, but he's going ahead with this because of his gut feeling. That is entrepreneurial decision making. And on the other fourth side is the spiritual decision making. Okay, spiritual is not always religions, isn't it? Of course, religion includes most of the religious aspect, most of the spiritual aspect. That means the values, the rights and the wrongs in terms of value system. All right. So this is another way of looking at it. Sometimes, we have no reason. Money is not a concern. I feel like doing it, I'm going to do it. It's not a gut feeling. That is your concern. That's your inner heart says. So this is a very important tool, right? To think about a little bit deep, right? Analyze. Of course, every time you can't, go whether it is rational or whether it is entrepreneurial or whether it is spiritual, you will not analyze it. You have to practice it. You need to balance it. At least think from different angles and then make a solid decision. You need to allocate weightage and then, come to certain understanding. All right. Let me be honest here. This is my own slide based on my own writings and my own experience and knowledge. All right. Right. So that is decision making, which I thought is very important. And of course, in the pitching and negotiating, you need to know win-win, lose-lose, win-lose, lose-win scenarios. Like, both parties win, that is the best thing. Now, some people are there very arrogant. If I lose, I will make sure that you also lose, right? Sometimes, I also always want to win, and, I don't want you to win. And then some people are there, okay, I lose, it's okay, you win. But if that is the first time, it's fine. If you are continuing to have that sort of a strategy that you're going to lose forever, no point of becoming an entrepreneur, then become a sociopreneur. That is something called sociopreneur. That means you are a social entrepreneur, right? You are a social service man. All right. So that is another thing. All right. So entrepreneurial thinking. Okay. Critical thinking. Okay. Let me take a minute here to explain. Everybody's talking about critical thinking. What is this critical thinking? See, critical thinking, if you ask somebody, they will say, okay, analytical thinking. Both are same to me. Critical thinking is analytical thinking. Then what is critical thinking or what is analytical? A very important knowledge you should have. See, you should break the problem or something that at your hand into small pieces and compare it with each other, or compare with benchmarks, or compare with where you want to become, or compare with the past, or compare as a trend. This is critical thinking. Why I said that? Let me give you an example. Sometimes somebody is giving you a sales number that I'm going to say. You are giving a business idea. You are telling a finance guy, okay, tell me, I want to come here with a business plan that whether we are going to make profit. So just to make you happy that he will come up with a good profit number. You need to analyze it. You need to have a critical thinking. You will ask all the questions. Okay, tell me where the revenue is coming from. Okay, in terms of region, in terms of market segments. So you are breaking it into pieces. So how much you expect from each region? What is my region? Who is my target customer? What is their age? Do they have income to money to buy this? You ask all the questions that you think, how they made up the plan. That is, you are breaking it into the pieces. And then you connect with that and say, okay, does it make sense? Connecting the dots. Or you have a benchmark that some other company has done it, right? You compare with them and see. Or you compare with over the years. Okay, in the past, something similar was done. Does it make sense? Okay, let me give another example. Even a blood sample, you break it into parts, right? The sugar elements of it, and then say compare it with, okay, how much should be there? What is the benchmark? And then you compare it with this. How much was the last month? And then compare it with this. So like that, the critical thinking should be there to ask the right questions, breaking that into pieces and understand. Don't look at, of course, as a strategic thinking, you need to have the holistic picture also. Where does it stand in the holistic picture? True. But then you should know the parts also. How is it put together? Then whether these parts are achievable. If the parts are not achievable, then the whole thing is not achievable, isn't it? Right? So therefore, you need to know where the parts are coming from. So that is critical thinking. Right? So design thinking is okay. There is another chapter. There's another side to it. I'm sure with you should be able to invest some time into it so that you can learn about what is design thinking. That is, of course, it is kind of an artistic view, I would say, an artistic view. And then, okay, you imagine, right? Sometimes people, have 3D images in their minds also. They are able to see in multiple angles the same thing, right? And then there is a step-by-step process also how you design thinking. So please do a bit of, I can take time to explain, but then it's not the right time. So strategic thinking we discussed about resilience and adaptability. Okay, abstract thinking is also something I won't say same as strategic thinking. Abstract thinking is where you are able to connect with the society, overall society, right? And then an isolated view. That is also a deep. thinking. It's another way you can call it a deep thinking also, right? About something that you go deep into that and understand, or abstract level at a surface level that you understand. So that also has a more knowledge required to understand that, and it is an important concept, abstract thinking. So you need to learn more about that as well, right? For you to develop all these things, I'm just giving you an example here, how to develop critical thinking. How to develop critical thinking. Now, critical thinking can be developed with so many ways, a lot of practices, of lot of exercises. Okay, one such exercise is working with riddles. Working with riddles. This is a very interesting riddle. Many people find it difficult, but out of my past experience, I mean, I'm using this for the past 5 to 7 years, right? The same example. Many people try and fail. I have seen few people tried and succeeded also. So I'm just leaving it to you. Take a snapshot of this and try leisure. Some people are very smart. Within 2-3 minutes, they find the answers. Let me explain to you, right? We may not have time to try this out in this class. Maybe once the class is over, you can put it in the chat, or you can share it with the organizer. Right. Imagine there are 10 large boxes. 10 large boxes. And each of those boxes has 10 identical balls, big balls. And imagine they are iron balls, right? They are iron balls. So each of the ball carries 10 kg. Carries means weighs 10 kg. The weight of the ball is 10 kg. So for example, one box will have 10 balls. That one ball is 10 kg. Very simple mathematics. We know that box has 100 kg inside that. 10 kg balls, 100 kg. But one box has 9 kgs. 9 kgs. That also has 10 balls. Don't forget that. 10 balls, 9 kgs. Now, just take a moment to see, if you are to weigh just once, you are given a large scale by the side. You are given one option to weigh. You need to come out with the answer in which box that the 9 kg balls are there. You understood the question, I believe. It's a very interesting question, right? Just try your answer. You want to take a minute here, Sanjita?
You can go ahead, because participant won't be able to answer it in this.
Exactly.
Because next they can do it as a homework. Participant, take this take this question as a homework. You can do this as a homework, and it will be benefiting you for improving your innovative ideas. And yes, this critical thinking is a very on idea which is going on. Please participant, we will be coming up with the poll and take this question as your homework.
Yes. Exactly. Very good. Thank you so much. Go ahead with your poll.
Okay. This is the last poll, participant, and eyes on the screen. Here I open the poll for you. And the last poll for today's webinar. This is open for you. Yes, please hit the button and answer the options. Oh, yes, we are going here. Yes. The question is, when developing business plan, which aspect do you find most challenging? I repeat the question, when developing a business plan, which aspect do you find most challenging? Yes, participants, you have heard what Sir had said today. He has given so many ideas and options. Please hit the button and answer to the polls. Option number 1, market research and analysis. Option number 2, defining a clear value proposition. Option number 3, 4, 5, 6. Which option do you like? Hit the button. We have only 450 and we have 1,000 participants out here. Where are the rest participants? Please put your fingers on the button. Hit your button. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. 600. 600 of them. Great, great. Have answered the poll. Great going. Okay, few minutes, few seconds more before we stop the poll. 700. Okay, 700. All right, it's going to 800. Okay. All right, let me answer the options. How many of you have answered the various options? The question is, when developing a business plan, which aspect do you find most challenging? So the first option, 38%, financial projections and budgeting. This is the first option. Second option, 21% of you have answered market research and analysis. Good. And 20% creating a market and sales strategy. That's what Sir was also saying about the strategy. Okay. And defining a clear value proposition. I suppose participants, you must learn to ideate and innovate. Defining a clear value proposition. It's only 9% in the option list. And the least one, detailing operational process. Yes, of course, it's the very high investment area, detailing operation processes. Yes. Now I end the poll. Great going. Thank you, participant, for sharing your options and poll. All right. Great. Thank you. I'm sharing the results also. So of all of you, you might be seeing it. Okay. I'm stopping. Sir, over to you. The floor is yours and you can continue and end the PPTs.
All right. Thank you so much. I think that sets the stage for the next discussion, because majority or rather the bigger portion is about financial projections. And I see an opportunity also here. I think we should do another webinar in terms of finance for non-finance people, how to do financial projections for, because even in other seminars and other classes, other programs that I find, I mean, majority of entrepreneurs don't come from a finance background, so therefore they find it most challenging to do the financial projections. That is why they give it to financial experts on that. But learning that will be able to understand, will be able to help them, because when they get the financial projections, and they will be able to, as we discussed earlier, critically analyze that, understand the various parts of it, and then they can put their 2 cents into it, and then to make it most meaningful to them, isn't it? So therefore, I also to some extent agree that the majority of the entrepreneurs find it most challenging to do financial projections, because they don't have the expertise. The other things they can to some extent. So let's think of another session for a similar audience on this finance. All right. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure. We'll put that. Sure.
All right. So as an entrepreneur, you should have a good understanding. Again, I'm using the word carefully, good understanding about the financials. Then you will be able to do the financial projections to some extent, or at least guide your the financial team how to do or what is your expectations in terms of your projections also, right? So for you to do that, or for you to understand the financial side of it, you need to have the basic understandings, like the basic costings you should know, right? You should know what is a break-even point, and what is profit and loss account, what is balance sheet, what is a cash flow statement. You should at least know what are these things. You may not become an expert and then learn how to do that, but to some extent you should know how to read it and how to interpret it. Those are the two important elements, right? So therefore you need to learn them. So we will go on because this is not the forum to learn all those things, right? So we will have another session after some times, as we just discussed with Sanjita. So if time permits, I can help them. We'll see. Now, more importantly, you should also know the financial management part of it. Now, the first part which we discussed is under finance management, that you should know all these areas, all these points, like what is costing and then what is financial reports. That means, profit and loss account and balance sheet and stuff like that. But again, you should know also taking certain decisions like investment decision. The key decisions in the financial side or as an entrepreneur is how much to invest. What is the right investment, right? Or when you are talking to a partner for further investments, how do you take decisions, right? So you should have those ideas in your mind. Financing decisions means, okay, somebody is coming up with a projection. Okay, we need so much money too. So that is a total investment. How to finance? Whether you are going to find another partner, or whether you're going to go for a loan, or whether you're going to go for multiple partners, or whether you're going to go for partial loan and another partner. How do you make such decisions? What is the criteria to take such decisions? What do you need to analyze in order to take such decisions? You should have at least some idea. You should have at least some idea. Or at least talk to an expert. If you don't know, please talk to an expert, because as an entrepreneur, many people have gone wrong in these areas because they have taken wrong decisions because of their inexpertise and then wrong level of confidence, or rather overconfident. All right. So I'm just caution. So either you learn or take the expertise, because these are areas where you can go wrong. All right. And then another important area is managing growth and risks. Now, when some people who just start becoming successful in the initial stage, and then start growing, and they become overconfident, right? So they tend to take, okay, we have done it already, we can do the rest. No. Many companies, I mean, my past 30 years of experience in the business world have seen so many companies have, flopped at the growth stage. At the growth stage, you know why? They become very overconfident. In fact, I have worked very closely with some companies as a consultant, as a senior managers also. And they have failed miserably without listening to the experts there. So therefore, that is also another important. And then the next area is cash flow management and working capital. That means, how do you manage the cash coming in and going out? Sometimes they are overconfident. They try to spend, lavishly, and then make a different, plan altogether. Their lifestyles change, right? Whereas the company suffers. They find difficult to pay salaries sometimes. The company did so well. It was growing so beautifully. And then suddenly they are going into a cash crunch scenario, right? And then, okay, dividends. Now, this is for large companies when they give dividends. So even private limited companies or partnerships, how do they share profits? Those decisions must be taken very, very carefully. So if you are not experts, please, I'm saying again for the final time here, talk to an expert to get the right idea, or at least what to analyze, and then what to take note in order to take such decisions. All right. Now I think we are slowly coming to the last or the most important part. Okay, how do you manage as an entrepreneur in addition to the finance? So I'm bringing in the entrepreneurial management part here. All this time I was talking about who's an entrepreneur, what are the key characteristics of entrepreneur, and then up to now I was talking about what are the key entrepreneurial skills that you need. So financials is also skills, certain skills. So under that I was explaining critical skills, creative skills, right? Financial skills, and then so many other resilience and ability and all those skills that we were talking about. Now, as an entrepreneur, how do you manage the whole process, right? Now, you don't have to get scared or be pessimistic about, okay, I have to manage marketing, I have to manage you know cash, I have to be a finance management, and then I have to product development. Yes, entrepreneur takes that sort of risks, and then they need to have multiple skills. True, but then if you are able to manage people, then you can manage this also, right? Allocate the right people, I'll right resources for the right requirements. But having control of the overall mindset, that is where I'm coming to. How do you keep control of all that? You don't have to be master of all of these things. All right. So now when we talk to entrepreneurial management, yes, first of all, you have identified the opportunity, come up with the idea, and how do you evaluate that, and how do you transform that into a concept, a product? So that chain of thinking you should have, number one. Number two, you should know how much to allocate resource. For example, okay, somebody buys the idea. You have little bit of money, and then there is an investor also coming in, and then they are investing into it. Before even deciding on how much I need the investment, you need to have a very clear idea about what resources I need. What is the cost of those resources? Like, okay, do I need machineries? And where the machineries are coming from? Do I need a plant? Do I need a warehouse? Do I need, computers? What sort of computers I need? What sort of people I need? What level of skills they need to have? All these you should have an idea, or at least as partners that you should brainstorm and come to as an idea. So for that, that is where the entrepreneurial management skills come in, right? And then, of course, innovation and management creativity is fine. And leading the team, as I said, you should be able to lead the team as an entrepreneur. That part you can't give it to somebody else immediately. Of course, you can appoint a CEO and then under that many managers, that is at the later stage. But initially, you should have full control of setting up a business, and then hand over the management to a CEO or whatever. Of course, they can be part of the team, but having the control of the overall process must be under you. And then the final financial management also is very much part of the entrepreneurial management. All right. So don't get panicked. Too many things on the plate. That is how an entrepreneur can become successful, right? Taking a lot of risk, learning a lot of new things, right? Wearing a lot of hats, right? And then doing a lot of things. Maybe working too many hours, 24 hours a day. So that is how you're going to benefit also, right? Once you become an entrepreneur and then reap the benefits, definitely it's going to be there. Right. So I'm just quickly going to run through some of these slides, right? Because those are standard stuff, and sometimes you might feel a little bit boring at this particular stage because those are standard stuff that needs to be done. And then if you're already a professional who knows about entrepreneurship to some extent, then it'll add value immediately. But still, you need to know that these things are there. That is the purpose, very purpose that I have included it here. Otherwise, it will be missing. Some part will be missing. That is why I've included here. All right. Okay. So your areas of interest and passion. Okay. How do you filter? How do you start your business idea? And then how do you filter the business idea? Now, let me bring you another interesting thought here, a concept here. Now, how do you choose what areas of business that you want to get in? You have so many business ideas that you have. You have so many business ideas according to the market research, according to your friends, according to your own research, inside research, or according to your gut feeling, according to your reading of the market. You have so many ideas coming. How do you filter them? Right. That is this slide is talking about basically. So you choose the passionate area. There are many methods that you can do, right? Like what do you think is your passion? What do you think is your strength? Now here, I'm sure some of you might have heard about this concept called, the Japanese concept called Ikigai. Ikigai. Okay. It is not a It is not just a word with many other things. It is a term from Japan. It's a Japanese term, right? What they're talking about is, okay, if you want to choose out of many things what to do, that concept is helping you. Like, what are you really good at? What do you really like? What the people need, that is what the market research will tell. What the people need, not only that, what the people will pay for. Where is the price? People will need many things, right? There is opportunity for you to do also. You like them, but will they pay for that? Or will that become another social service to them? Or you just have to do it for a very tiny price and then you don't benefit out of it. It's not worth the time. So just go through the Ikigai concept also to select one. And then, of course, all these tools will help you to filter the business ideas and choose one from the total number of businesses that you have or business ideas that you have got. All right. Now, from here, you need to transform this into a plan. Transform this into a plan. Now, this is where we are talking about creating a value proposition. Okay, what are you trying to offer? Okay, I think the following slides are going to explain each of these line items, right? What is a value proposition? What are pestle analysis? What are SWOT analysis? What is a complete analysis, right? So again, okay, based on all those things, you need to build a strategy, right? So let's go through that. What are these areas? What is value proposition? Okay, and then finally, you have to prepare these financial reports. As I said earlier, these are important. Even if you are going to start at a moderate scale, not a very small scale, a moderate scale, then still you need to have a projection in terms of revenue, profitability, balance sheet. I mean, you might not do all these NPV, like net present value, return on investment, all those things you might not do to a great extent, but you should have some idea. If it is a moderate SME plan, I mean a medium-sized plan, then definitely it is important, right? Otherwise, if you are just sitting at home and then just trying to test out something as a part-time job, you might not do all these things. But at least some idea. It's better to learn these things, right? All right. So now here comes a value proposition. It's very important slide here to understand. Start from the customer. You need to have a very clear idea about what the customer wants. That is where you start. Why? Because you will ask, okay, you like this, you give some food, whether you like this, you give, stitch some garments and then you share it with the friends, you like it, they want to buy more of it. Or, you analyze the market, you see, okay, what are the people asking for more in the social media or in the Google, or you see Google Analytics will throw, right, the search engine optimizers, the SEO will throw some of the statistics based on what is being searched more, whether it is people who are looking for MBA programs, or they are looking for DBA programs, or whether they're looking for technical skills programs. So what are they looking for is what is wants. What is wants? That is wants, right? There is a clear difference between what is want and what is needed, needs. I mean, many people have a misunderstanding here. I mean, even in my recent class, I asked, no, what is the difference between wants and needs? Many of them said, needs are the essential ones, the water, electricity, and the water, shelter, and food and clothing. Those are needs, and then all the rest is wants, which is a wrong answer. Need is what is need. Mobile phone is a want. Communication is the need, right? Communication is the need. Facebook is the want. Sense of belonging. Relationship is the need, right? Relationship is the need. Transport is the want. Motor vehicle is the want. Transport is the need. You understand? So likewise, you need to understand, okay, what do people want and what do they need? Have to have a clear idea. And then you analyze, okay, what are their expectations and what are their real fear factors in achieving them. And based on that, right, you understand what do they really need, what will they buy. And then, okay, you understand their substitutes also. What are they available? What are they doing it now? For example, somebody is looking for a training program. Say one company is looking for a training program, right? Then you will want to know, okay, they're looking for training program. What sort of training programs are they looking for? Where have they taken it in the past, right? For another classic example, this is a very serious and repeated question that I have encountered when I, as a consultant, or when we ask for system implementations, right? The immediate question that we normally ask, okay, what is the system you are using now? If they want a custom made system, the immediate question is, so what are you using now? You know why? Then only we will be able to understand the pain points of the customer. What do they really need? What are they going through? What are their problems? And then you position yourself. What are they consuming now? Say a new, if they are coming up with a new cosmetic that you think will resolve or give a new formula to the people, or for the pimples. Say girls have this issue. Say they have pimples, regular pimples. Then you want to find out something new, a new formula. Then you'll find out, okay, what are they using now? What is the problem with them? Some might say, you might ask this question also. Some might say, okay, it is spreading further, or it is painful, or it is becoming more thick, or I've been using for the past 6 months, no improvement, or it is creating a patch there. After the pimples gone, there is creating a patch there. So many issues can come out of that, pain points. And that is how you come up with your value proposition. Understand? So then based on that, you come up with your value proposition. Okay, identify what are the features, what benefits you have, and all that. So then you know how to pitch. What is your, this has to be the good canvas. Before coming up with the idea, you need to prepare this canvas so that you have clarity in what you are going to do. You have clarity in what you are going to do. All right. Okay, why it's not moving? Again, I'm trying.
Scroll it a little bit slowly, sir.
Yeah, I did a while ago.
Okay.
All right. So this is an example of position. I mean, say, when I talk about positioning, you know what is meant by positioning? Positioning is not in the advertisement, you create a positioning statement. We are customer friendly. We are, cheap. We are the best in the market. Those are just statements. Of course, positioning statements, but that's not the real position. The real positioning is you create an image of your product in the mind of the customer. In the mind of the customer, you are creating an image. These guys are very professional. They are very cheap. They are the most cheapest product in the market. And they do what they say. They deliver on time. They deliver their promises. And their quality is as good as what they said. Right? So, they're very customer friendly. They're very user friendly. These are positioning standards. So you have to create that position in the minds of the customer. Right? It's not just making a statement in your label or in advertisements or in the posters. So, for example, I mean, I'm dealing with Odoo. Odoo is a ERP product. ERP product where it is helping companies to do accounts, purchasing, inventory, everything can be done in that. So that is compared with other products. Where do we position ourselves? That means it is a very user-friendly product. and I'm compared with other products which are user-friendly also in the market. And it has a wide business scope. That means it can handle so many things, like what I said, from inventory to all the other features, like purchasing to HR system and everything. On top of that, it can be integrated with social media. It can be integrated with lead generation in the website. All these features are possible. So this is positioning. So likewise, you need to come up with the positioning strategy of your product. Where do I stand in the market? Where do I stand in the market? Okay, I can say if I'm doing a training, I will bring a lot of practical examples because of my corporate experience. I can say that, and then I can go and do that. Many people cannot do that. So likewise, so that is my positioning strategy. That is my positioning strategy. So likewise, what is your positioning strategy? Must be well thought, must be well researched, after researching about the competitors in the market and also researching about the customer needs in the market and the customer pain points in the market. After doing all that, only you can come up with such a thing. And then you have to do the not and then. No? So this is another tool that you need to do before making a positioning strategy, that you have to have a very thorough environmental scan. Now, environmental scan means a business environment scan. Now, business has internal environment and external environment. Internal environment, you have to thoroughly analyze what are the products, what are the product features, right? What processes you have, right? Now, what kind of people you have, what are the different structures. Now, even if it is an existing company or the company that you are planning to do also, how do you position yourself, right? So position in the sense, okay, what are the products I'm going to have in comparison with market? Okay, where do we stand? So that comes to a competitor analysis. So you need to have a very clear idea about it, right? And in the external environment, I'll teach you in a moment what is pestle analysis, customer analysis, and competitor analysis. So these three analyses are important tools for you to analyze the external environment. What are those things? Competitor and industry analysis, and say you have to analyze the suppliers and other support services also, and then pestle analysis. I'm coming in a bit. And based on these two internal and external analysis, you will prepare a SWOT analysis. I will also teach you what is a SWOT analysis in a moment. All right. So the pestle analysis talking about pestle analysis is nothing about the first letters, the first word, the first letter of each of those words. I'm sure many of you are aware of this, right? Political, economical. Political P stands for political, E stands for economical, and then likewise social, technological, environment. Environment, here we are talking about the climate change, the physical environment of business, right? In order to make sure how harmful are we to the environment, right? When we say environment, it can be the climate part, or the soil conditions, or the air pollutions, or the people pollutions. There are so many things. Noise pollutions, right? So to what extent that we are doing, or what is the demand from an environment perspective? I mean, always that carries a special attention to me, because people have spoiled enough from industrial revolution to now. Companies with the so-called industrial revolution 4, 5 up to come now, they have gone into, and the environment has been polluted like nothing. So that needs to be taken special attention. And then, of course, what are the legal attributes that are relevant to this company, relevant to this business? So I started with environment. Next, I'm going to the legal aspects. For example, in the legal aspect, okay, what laws we need to accompany, right? What laws we need to accompany, and then what laws that we need to take note that we are not going to break. For example, anti-money laundering, right? That is a law that we should not break. We should comply in full. For example, another one is, okay, how to register a business. What is the law say, right? Different countries have different laws. So likewise, okay, you need to be very clear about the legal factors of the business. Sometimes you need to take certain protection against the consumers. what laws need to abide. Sometimes food safety, what laws need to be abided. Sometimes if you're coming up with a financial instrument, what is the law? So you should know what are the legal factors that are relevant to the business, and then take note of what should not be breached, and then what needs to be complied, and how frequent and all that. All right. Okay. Coming to the political environment. So in the political environment also, okay, you can see whether there is unrest, or whether there is a peaceful, or there is a more supportive political environment. Those three are possible. Sometimes very turbulent war situations, or religious clashes, or some social issues, or always employee strike and related issues. So politically, the environment, is it calm? Is it peaceful? Is it supportive? Or there is a lot of resistance. So you need to be mindful of this. And then, okay, this is one of the most important from a business angle, the economic mindset, economic momentum, right? Is the economy growing? For example, let me take this UAE. In the UAE, at the moment, is one of the most promising economics in the world to start business. I mean, I'm not just saying this from my analysis, from recent analysis of global entrepreneurship monitoring. There is a movement, global entrepreneurship monitoring movement or something. They have done a research. In 2022, according to their research, UAE is the #1 place where you can do startup business. Second is Saudi Arabia, right? So why? Because of the economic momentum. The country is so supportive to start new businesses, right? So not only that, what is the economic inflation condition, interest rate conditions, right? Employment related issues. Is it employment available there? Right? Is there a lot of demand? New people are coming in, new foreign investment is coming in, government is having new projects, right? So therefore, new business opportunities are being created, right? So these are all economic factors. And then comes the social factor. Okay, people, health factors. Is it aging population? How the health conditions in the market? How is the lifestyle of the people, right? How the other social elements, like supporting cultures. There are certain cultures that are supporting to certain businesses and not supporting to certain businesses also. So you need to be mindful of those things as well. All right. And then comes the technology. Finally, technology. Okay, what sort of technology we need? What sort of technological support we need from the market? And what is available in the market? Where the technology is going in terms of our businesses? Is it accessible to us? How costly those things? All these questions need to be answered. All right. So this is the pestle analysis. This is a very interesting analysis, and if you do it thoroughly, this will help you to do your financial projections and prepare the rest of the plans also. All right. When you are going to analyze the competitors, there are multiple ways that you can do, right? You can
Sir,
go.
excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. We need to little bit hurry up. So I
Sorry?
request you to little bit one. We need to little bit hurry up.
Okay.
And we have the question and answer session also.
Right. So I just have a couple of
Okay.
slides. I can try to wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So these competitors, you can do it competitor by competitor. You can go through in detail and analyze the pricing, the place, all these elements can be analyzed and say, where do you place yourself, right? And what are the pricing strategy, what are the distribution strategy and all that. So based on these analysis, like the competitor analysis, the pestle analysis and all that, you come up with the SWOT analysis. And this is where the key strategy making tool is, right? Your strategy making tool is basically, you understand your strengths, you understand your weaknesses, you understand the opportunities, you understand your threats. Normally, strengths and weaknesses are considered as internal stuff. Opportunities, sorry, yeah, opportunities and threats are external stuff. So based on these things, I think I have given you a way how to make your strategies. Like, for example, the strategy, strength can be converted into a strategy. You have a threat, whether the strength can be used to overcome the threat. You have an opportunity, whether your strength can be used to overcome the opportunity. Likewise, there is a strategy making tool. So this needs to be studied as well. All right, I think this is my last slide. So with this overall idea, right, ideas that you have gained, it gives you a complete roadmap. This gives a complete roadmap how to move on. All right. So you have your very clear ideas, business ideas, you filtered it, right? You filtered it, you went into the product concept development, you then went into the product development, you went into testing the product, and then you came into a business analysis, planning, and then you developed your strategies, and then from the development strategy development, you prepare a very clear action plan, and then go for the performance management, implement it, and performance management, right? So we, of course, I do train and I do consult and I help individuals and I help organizations as well. So I think that's my last slide. Feel free to connect with me on my LinkedIn, if there is some requirement, and I leave it to Sanjita to take over and finish it up. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank
and
you.
I have
Thank
one
you, sir.
request.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I just have one
Yes, sir.
request towards the end. I just would like to take a screenshot with, all the members on the screen, if it is possible.
Okay.
And give you their names.
All right.
Okay.
Members,
Just
we won't be. It won't be visible, sir. All
No
the
problem.
members. It won't be visible. So, sir, we will be doing the. You can like close the slides, and
Okay.
before we go for the question and answer, I would like to put the slides of UniAthena and take a few minutes, 2-3 minutes with the participant, and then we go with the Q&A sessions.
All right.
Q&A sessions.
See you all soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah. So hello participants. I hope you are all tired. You are all tired, and sir had a very wonderful insight on today's webinar. And today I would like to take few minutes of what we do at UniAthena and also what courses we we offer. So there you already have been in the chat box, been aware of all the masters and the doctorate and the short courses that we offer. But here today, I'll take 2 minutes of yours to go through all the courses that we have in UniAthena. So we have in UniAthena, just hold on. Okay, the UniAthena courses are affordable. They are flexible. At your own self-paced style, you can go for the courses. And yes, and we have so many learners touched yet, and you can see the numbers and so many countries. And we have partners. Our partners are UCAM, Aberte University, Marconi University. We have partners, SQS partners. We have CIQS partners, Acacia University as partners. And our offerings are all in the various fields. They are in the master's also, microcredit, doctorate, MBA, and we have short courses which are
Sanjita,
free.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The slides are not moving.
Slides are not moving. Okay, is it moving now?
No.
Okay, maybe my internet is little bit slow. Okay.
It is just showing. Thank you.
So, okay. Oh. I'll share it again. Yes, sir, can you please stop sharing? Sir, are you there?
Yeah, now we can see you, Sanjit.
Yeah. Okay. So let me share. All right. So why UniAthena? We have a flexible mode of payment. We are 100% online. We are self-paced, and also we have accredited university partners, and module course delivery is free. You will be having personal tutor connect. Okay, there will be personal one PT connected to you for facilitating you. And the course that we are offering are we have lesson video tutorials. There are learning contents for you, and also we have e-learning resources for you available on your courses. And we have some free resources which will be available for you. You can download and check it on. And for accessing or for more informations, you can go through this website, or you can have it connect to admissions@uniathena.com for more inquiry. And also you can see the locations that we have here. Okay, so this much from my side. Sir, are you there? Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, sir. So we will be going for the question and answer session. And please, sir, switch on your video, sir. Participants should see.
Yes.
Look at you. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have the first question, and the question is from Dider Mutombo. So he says, can you please take a business case showing us to create new business opportunity like in real estate, where the market is saturated, but still presents the best investment opportunity? So what is your opinion on this, sir? So should I
Can you
repeat
come
the
again?
question again? Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah, repeat the
Okay.
question.
So there is a question by Dider Mutombo. He says, can you please take a business case showing us to create new business opportunity like in real estate, and where the market is saturated, but still presents best investment opportunity?
Right. Okay. So real estate market, of course, it seems saturated, as he says correctly, but still investors are thriving, right? Especially in this part of the world. Especially in this part of the world, when I say in the UAE market, right? Real estate is really thriving because of the innovative features, like, they come up with, say, apartment buildings, right? Or say business center operations, or luxury apartments. Especially in the luxury apartment field, businesses are thriving. Actually, they are coming up with loads and loads of new businesses coming in, and then they're able to sell. Because why? Because it's not because of the real estate market saturating in that sense. There is enough and more competitors in that field, but the economic momentum is so good, so that new customers are coming into the market, new executives are flooding into the market, new investors are flooding into the market. So there is always opportunity for new real estate investments. I mean, in the real estate sector, whether you are developing business centers, or apartments, or residential apartments, those opportunities are still there, and then there is business opportunities, though it is considered to be one of the highly competing industry in the UAE. I hope I have answered the question.
Right. So you have taken the case study from UAE, and that is a happening country, and Dubai is the most happening city in the world right now, and it's booming, the real market. Okay, thank you, sir, for that answer. Let's go for the next answer, which is around the financial, which is your favorite topic also. So the first question is Noah Bozala, who asks, how can I begin a project with a small capital? It's a very simple question. How can I begin a project with a small capital? So what's your opinion on this, sir?
Yes, it depends on what the business is, right? Though you have a small capital, sometimes there are many businesses, they have started without any capital also, right, for her information.
Yes, sir.
So the biggest strength is the product, right? If you are so strong about the product that you have, and if you have done your research and then you are so confident about its success, there are thousands and thousands of people are waiting to invest in such products, right? And there are so many methods that you can look for such investors also. Of course, known channels are there, right? In some countries, banks are there based on your past records, based on your professional background. And in some countries, some governments are there to support. And there is a lot of, venture capital owners are there,
Family
crowdfunding solutions,
business.
family
Yes,
support is there. So there are so many
yes, sir.
methods where you can find the investors. But number one is, okay, you have the right product, you have the right service, and you have the right research that you can make sure that that will be a success. And then look for. To answer, one word answer is yes, you can start. Of
Great,
course,
sir. That's a
look for
great
the
answer.
investors. Thank you so much.
From zero budget also, we can start with a small idea. Can be a
Of
great
course,
one.
yes. Idea is the
Great,
most
sir.
important thing.
Yes, sir. So the other answer by Thomas Udoro is always money the key to start a new business. I think he also got the answer with this answer which you have given.
Yes.
We move on to another question by Wahida Sabahat. She says,
Yeah.
what are the three most important habits to be a successful entrepreneur? You have in fact narrated it. You have in fact said about it, which I remember. Emotionally, we have to be emotionally detached, be strong, and spiritually. So, but again, I would like you to make it a little bit more insightful. So the question is, what are the three most important habits to be a successful entrepreneur?
Okay. Now she's asking a very specific thing, habits. We did not speak about habits. We spoke about, say, skills, characteristics, mindsets, and things like that. I mean, she's asking about habits. Okay, good. Anyway, I mean, what you said is also relevant here, right? Being emotionally strong enough. But, as a habit, I would say, have a daily schedule. Have a daily schedule is a very good habit that you make a schedule for the day and then try to make sure that you accomplish it. The second habit is have a review in the night to check your confidence, to check your level of commitment that you are able to put it, right? And then third one is every day you brainstorm within yourself. Every day you brainstorm within yourself to polish up and move forward. There are so many habits of people, especially entrepreneurs do this. As I know, entrepreneurs do this, they have a morning routine. They have a morning routine. In the first thing that they do is, right, okay, their morning walk and all that, spiritually they become whatever they want to do, all that. They have a what you call schedule writing. Okay, today I'm going to do this, today I'm going to do this, today I'm going to do this. And one of that schedule is they brainstorm within themselves or with some friends to gain new ideas and then to polish up the ideas to see where they have gone wrong, something, right? That is one of the things that they do. And then, of course, in the night, they do visit back and see, okay, what are they able to achieve. This way, they will be able to ensure the commitment and creativity, right? Commitment is okay, whether they are able to do what they wanted to do. Creativity is okay, they're polishing it rather than, okay, I got an idea, I'm going to implement it. Until I implement and come back, I have never gone through it and revisited and brainstormed with anybody. Then by the time you implement something, it has become a wrong thing or it has become an outdated.
Correct. Correct.
All right. So
And
those three
yes,
things.
scheduling is very important. Waking up early and then rewiring your brain for the whole things which are coming up. That's a very invigorating schedule that all entrepreneurs they give examples of themselves.
Right.
Yes, participants, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you should always wake up early and brainstorm, as Sir has said. collect all of your friends, gather friends, and then brainstorm. Okay, sir. Next question is the last questions. That is from Hamid Al Ahmed. He says, is there any solution to stop? Is there any solution to stop repeated ideas and plans in business in any community? So he's talking about one similar idea that is going round and round in some communities. So is there any solution for that?
No, when we talk about a solution to stop repeated ideas, it's a routine thing. I mean, as I said, the daily brainstorming will help you. I guess he's talking about his own ideas getting repeated, or what exactly is the idea he's talking about? Any idea? Hello? You've suddenly. Right. I think the idea that being repeated is from the industry, I guess, right? Or I'll take it in two positions. One is if the same idea is coming again and again, right, to themselves or to himself, right? Then the habit which I told you, that polish yourself, brainstorm among yourself, it will help you. And from an industry perspective, market research will help you. A good market research will help you.
Great. So participants, your answers, because of the lack of time, there are so many questions. We could not take the answers for each and every questions that were written by you. So with lots of understandings and
sorry, we can't. Yeah, you're breaking.
Sorry, sir. Yeah, I have been breaking. I quickly will wind it up. So participants, thank you for coming and attending this webinar. We had today's Sir Fawaz, who is the campus director and a senior faculty at Cromwell UK University, and also he's a faculty with Lincoln University. So visit our website, visit our YouTube channels. You will be updated on the upcoming webinar and hope to see you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving us the time and the opportunity to be with 100 individuals today, 100 participants today. And that was awesome. And I again thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And we are leaving.
I have one correction to make. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
You said I'm a director at Cromwell. I'm no more there. I don't want to use their name. It's not fair. I'm operating as a consultant in Dubai, right? As a consultant and a corporate trainer. And then, of course, I'm a freelance faculty for 4 institutes. That's all. All right. Thank you so much for the lovely opportunity. And I love talking to all the participants from all around the world. And UniAthena, I wish you all the best. And Sanjita, you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. So may I take the lead? Thank you.
Yes, sir. I was lost. Okay. All right. So thank you, sir. And welcome again. We will see you again in the next webinar. So let's end. Bye-bye, everyone. Ciao. Bye-bye.